today to LKM Kingdom Living, Leslie's Lessons Learned Facebook Live. And I'm so excited. As you know, my name is Leslie. If you don't know, my name is Leslie. And I want you to know I'm so excited that you're here. If you're here now, you come in later. Thank you so much for taking the opportunity to share this channel, listen to what we have to say. And I'm so excited about my guest today. Yay! Anna. And Anna, I want to thank you so much for, I want to say your Jackson, but this is a
Chatelaine.
hyphen. How do you say it?
Chatelaine.
Chatelaine Jackson. And we just welcome you here today. You're going to talk to us for a few minutes about how to organize our bills. I guess I could say our, no, not our bills. You're going to about our medical papers
Mhm.
and
Yes.
things like that. So I thank you so much for coming on. You don't have that much time, so I'm gonna not talk so much, and I'm gonna allow you to talk. She's from Brooklyn, New York, and she's a part of 1212, and she has an amazing business where she's helping people organize their um, medical bills and things like that. And I know she's going to talk about just give us a few tips of what we need to do because for so many times we just kind of just throw things all around. So, Anna, thank you so much for joining us. You look so beautiful today. Oh,
Thank
I
you.
got
Thank
one
you.
thing before you get started, and I hope this works right. Can you see it?
Um,
Nope, it didn't share, did it?
no,
Yeah.
no.
Well, let me say this. It was a happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
And yeah, I don't know what they've done different, but no matter what way I'm doing it, it's not sharing anymore. That was a lot of work too. I'm gonna send it to you. So
Okay, thank
Anna,
you.
tell us, you have experience in this because you've helped so many people um, in your family, and just share with us a little bit about what we need to do or what you've experienced that you can help us not have to experience those things.
Okay, so first I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I am super excited and I'm honored that you saw my information as something to share. I'm Anna Chatelaine Jackson. I've been a caregiver for my immigrant family for years. And when I say caregiving is sharing and going to doctor's appointments with them, gathering information and taking care of things. So th- my goal is to help be prepared for doctor's appointments, either for themselves or for their loved ones. Um, we see a lot of doctors, and they're often not in the same practices and the same type of hospital environments or the same clinics. And you're answering questions and often leaving off information or you're guessing family history. This is a way of gathering all the information, having it in one place, having it accessible so that when you do go to appointments, you are well prepared. Uh, you know, if the doctor is prescribing something that might have conflict with your conditions or other medications that you're on, that you're able to speak up in real time, not after you get home, that you have to leave 50 messages for the doctor's office. Oh, I just got home and I found I missed this one or I didn't remember this. This is what my goal is to just make sure that everything that you need to care appropriately for yourself medically is ready and you're not confused and the doctor's not confused. As a child, when I would ask the elders certain questions, they would say, well, my sister had or my mother told me that Aunt Margaret, and that's not the question, but we go around in circles before we get to the right answer, and this is kind of a way
Yeah.
of eliminating that. So tips: one, all your medications, you should have them written down somewhere, as soon as you get them, as soon as they're prescribed, when you started, when you stopped. If you stop taking them for whatever reason, you should note that so that the next doctor is not giving you something that's going to have conflict with your new medication. Two, your conditions, your diagnosis, your ailments, your allergies. You should know what they are. And you should have a list. Again, it's really important. I learned a long time ago that a family member gave birth and they had a reaction to epidural. But her mother never
Really?
thought to tell her that she had a reaction because it was also many years ago. So this is, keeping track, asking family members, even though sometimes the medical field might not acknowledge your siblings or your aunts and uncles, but keeping a tab, keeping your pulse on what ailments they had, because sometimes it might run in the family and you don't know. It's part of your genetics. It's hereditary. And not being prepared sometimes make us suffer a lot longer than we needed to. So as long as it's in the same bloodline, your aunts, your uncles, take note. Keep a mental note. Write it down. Cancers, headaches. It doesn't have to be deadly, but headache symptoms run in the family. I
Mm.
suffered headaches. My siblings suffer headaches. Our children suffer headaches. But my mother never complained of a headache. My father never complained of a headache. But all the children, except for one of my brothers, we used to get terrible headaches, and they thought maybe glasses, maybe this, maybe that. And until I worked for neurology, I didn't even know that headaches came in migraine forms, and different ailments cause a headache. Or sometimes a headache could be, sometimes you need rest. But if you know your family history and you're able to share it, it helps the doctor pinpoint what tests to run, what medications to start off with, and not just to fly in the wind. Um, Keeping track of your appointments, keeping your appointments, being honest with your doctors as to what's going on, what you're experiencing. If you stop taking the medication for whatever reason, let them know you stop taking the medication. If you take the medication every so often, don't be embarrassed. Don't tell the doctor, well, I'm still suffering this. Meanwhile, you're taking the medication once a week or every other week or every other day when it's meant to be taken every day. It's important. Also, as you're taking in your food, pay attention to what's going on to your body when you're eating. If you're eating certain things and you feel extremely bloated, take note, discuss it with the doctor, because it might be an allergy, it might be discomfort, or even not an allergy, but your system just might not agree with it, and it just leaves some sort of discomfort, a little
Yeah.
uneasiness. So
Mhm.
I think keeping track, paying attention, and having everything written down and noted, it takes your healthcare to a whole new level. Because nowadays, let's be honest, a doctor's visit could be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and you forget when you're trying to run off the top of the head what you're experiencing, what's going on, or your medications. It takes time to guess. Whereas if you have everything, it's a little quicker, it's a little bit concise, and the doctor knows where to begin. The hospital will know where to begin. And again, because all of our doctors are so spread out, all of our cares, if you're being treated for one thing at a specialized hospital, it's really hard sometimes for all these systems to connect. And yes, technology is stepping up a great deal, but it's hard to connect all of these. And especially for the elderly community where they're not computer savvy, they're not tech savvy, or they're
Mm.
set in their ways and they don't want to start creating a place, all the information, so that when someone is going with them, makes their care a lot easier, and it keeps them healthier and safer because they're not taking things that they weren't meant to take.
Yeah, that right there is a good thing, because a lot of times seniors will take things that um, they don't even know what they're taking or why they're taking. So having that support group to be with them is a very important thing. So one of the things you said was having everything in order. A lot of times we go to the doctor and we do forget and we don't remember certain things. And you'll say, oh, I don't know. So I think keeping a journal, but I put your email address in there so people could reach out to you because you have a system. And with
Yes.
the system can help them put these things and organize them in ways that they probably wouldn't understand or know how to do. So I did put your email address in there. And when I think about it, it is vitally important because we take it for granted, those type of things. That's just as important as us organizing our bills, as us
Yes.
going to the gym, exercising, working out, what we eat. All these things play a part in our health. And when I say in our health, to help us be healthy, to help us stay healthy. So it is important for us to understand how to organize those things. I have uh, on my I have a notepad, on our phones. So I have all my medications in there. Another thing that's important to know the beat your blood type.
Yes.
So even when people have to have blood transfusion and different things like that, it's kind of good to know what your blood type is. So those are some of the things, and I'm just you know talking, but those are
Yeah,
some of the
yes,
things that
it's
are very
absolutely
important.
important. As well as when you've had surgeries or minor procedures like having your colonoscopy done, it's important to know these dates, to log them, because when you go to the doctor and they need to know if you've been treated for anything, or if you're complaining of stomach issues, when was the last time you had certain tests done? And if you don't know, or you don't have that information readily available, you could be waiting weeks, months for an appointment. Whereas if you can tell them, oh, the last time everything was okay and this is when I had it done, they'll know if they can order another test for you or not. They'll know if the insurance will, they can guesstimate, okay, well, it's 5 years since it, I can order it. Or it's been a year, I can't order this test. Let me figure out what's next.
So when you say that, I think about you said the colonoscopy. So just don't go and say, "Well, I know they told me I don't have to come back for 10 years and everything was good." Have the
Right.
date. And it's now they give you the 3D or different things, the CD or whatever, so that you have that information. It's important that you have that information available or somewhere where you can get to it, because if they have to call the doctor, sometimes that takes a long time,
It sure does.
waiting for them to get the the results when you have it and you can just say here it is and they can see it,
Exactly.
so that
Exactly.
plays a big part of it as well. I want to say hello to everyone, Teresa, Frida, Ashley, and those that are listening. I want to say thank you so much for being here. So one of the things I was thinking about is that when we keep a journal, because it's important that we record or have a recording of all these things, that when you look down the list, you can say, oh, I had that on so and so. This was this date or whatever. One of the things that I can say that I have not done well, I have a folder and it's all in my folder, but to really have it at hand. So when I go to the doctor, I can say I had it on this date. This was the results or whatever. I need to work on that part. I
Well,
need to work
hopefully in
on
the
that.
near future, I'll have something in place where you can have all of that information. That is the goal, where
Yes,
everything
yes.
can live, and it's not that you're carrying around a folder. Like, for instance, when my father, rest his soul, he was sick and I was working on things for him. One of his reports was about 115 pages long. And I literally carried that everywhere I go,
Did you?
everywhere I went, because as I was on the phones, I'm at work, and if the doctors call me, I needed to be ready. If the insurance company was acting up, I needed to be ready. And I was carrying that everywhere I went. I carried a big old purse and it went right in the purse.
You had a suitcase for a pocketbook or a
Yep.
purse.
So the goal is to have it at your hands. And honestly, a lot of facilities now are offering things like My Chart or Chart Access.
Right.
Sign up for it. Sign
Yes,
up
that's a
for it
good point.
because even if if you don't have it and you're at a doctor's office, sometimes you can pull it up right on your phone, right on your tablet, and show it to the other physician. And I know everyone is scared of technology and there's a lot of things going on, but everything lives on the computer anyway.
Right.
Everything is living on a database anyway.
Yes.
Set yourself up, use appropriate passwords that are very
Right.
strong,
That's it
and
right there.
and have access, because there are things, again, I work in the medical field, and
Right.
sometimes the phones will ring 10 times before someone can get to it because we're on another call, or now you need to fill out a release form because most facilities will not release the information without a release form. So you have to wait to receive the release, you have to complete the release, you have to send back the release. It takes 48 hours, a week. There's a lot of delays where you can truly avoid that.
Hmm. That's good. That's good. Yes, the automated system and keep calling 100 times just irritates me to no.
It bothers me myself.
But I don't give up. I don't give up. Now that automated, they need to do. They not just for the hospitals, everywhere. They need to really work on
Everywhere.
that system because that's annoying. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on today, Anna. Any last tips before we go?
Last tip.
Yes.
When you go to the doctors, before you go, write down your questions. Take a notebook with you. Do not be afraid. If the doctor's in a hurry, then that might not be the doctor for you. But write down your questions before you go. Don't think you will remember them, because sometimes you hear certain pieces of information and it's not detrimental, or it's not long lasting, but the terminology scares you and you begin to forget pieces of information that the doctor gave you. Write down your questions, write down the doctor's response, write down the provider's response, so that way you have it to go back and reflect on it, look on it. If you need to discuss it further with your family, you're not, well, I think he said, or this is what I remember, and
That's
you're
me.
flustered.
That's me. So
Yeah.
one thing I wanted to add to that is that if you having complications and certain things happen, write it down, write the date and what happened. So when you go to the doctor, you could tell them what you're experiencing and when it happened. That's important too. That step there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's key to getting the appropriate care that you need. And you don't want to be prescribed a whole bunch of medications because you misinformed the doctor.
Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. So thank you so much for coming. I know you have to go, but I appreciate you. We're gonna have you come back um, in the near future and talk some more about this. I hope that someone has decided to do what they need to do to help to be a part of their self care. So
Yes.
thank you so much, Anna, and thank you all those that have been listening. I hope you have an amazing day, and we will see you Sunday on Leslie's Lessons Learned. I will have Dr. Matthews and Minister Wanda on, and they will be talking to us still about forgiveness. So until we meet again, I'm definitely going to have Anna back on. This was great tips, even just for a reminder to get us in the habit of taking care of ourselves better. See you next time and enjoy the
Thank you
rest of
so
your
much.
day. Thank you.